back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about what I think is now by far the best short range option to use in all of Warzone, and that's going to be the Cold War AK47. Now we just got a huge buff to all of the suppressors on the Cold War weapons, and this mainly helped out the SMGs, but it also helps out the ARs if you want to use them as a short range weapon. And I believe that the Cold War AK47 is the perfect option, and I'm going to show you why. Now, not too long ago, I did a video on the Cold War AK47 and I showed off my build. But now this build is going to be slightly different, and I think even better than the other one. The first thing we're going to add on is this suppressor, which is the part that got the buff. Now we add in sound suppression, ADS, bullet velocity, and sprint to fire speed, which is a huge bonus to have for this weapon. Previously, on my old build, I wasn't running a suppressor at all because I wanted to get my ADS time as quick as possible. And as you see, if you put on the GRU suppressor, it's going to slow down your ADS time. But now we can put on a suppressor, not red dot on the map, and get our ADS time and sprint to fire time up. So this is a great addition. Then for the barrel, we're still going to use the RPK barrel. And for the laser, I go with the Tiger Team Spotlight. Now we're going to come back to this in a second, because this one is one that you can take it or leave it depending on your personal preference. For the ammo, we're going to go with a 45 round mag. And then for the stock, we're going to put on the KGB skeletal stock. Now this is going to help you get the speed of the AK up to more of an SMG level. Now whenever you're using the AK, it's not going to be quite as fast as the SMGs, but this build right here is going to get you very, very competitive with movement speed and ADS speed and sprint to fire time to where you can beat out those SMGs. Now back to the Tiger Team Spotlight. I use this because it improves movement speed and your aim walking movement speed, which is one of the main reasons I like it so much, is because now we can get that thing moving. But if you don't want to use the spotlight, another thing to use, you can go with the serpent grip, and that'll also boost ADS, but it lowers your sprint to fire time, which is why I go with the laser over putting on the serpent grip. Now I'm using this as a short range option, so the recoil control isn't a huge deal with this weapon, because once I get outside of 30 meters or so, I'm not going to be using this weapon anymore. But if you have this weapon and you find that the recoil is too difficult to control, then putting on the Spetsnaz grip is another option for you. But for me personally, I'd rather have the ADS time be boosted, and I don't find that the recoil is very bad. Now we're going to jump into true game data, and I'm going to show you some charts and show you exactly why I think that the AK is the best option to use right now. So here we are over at true game data, and right now I have pulled up the AK47 and the Bullfrog, which is a popular SMG that's used right now in Warzone. And as you can see from this chart, the AK's in orange and the Bullfrog's in this purple pinkish color. And the AK kills quite a bit faster than the Bullfrog does up close. And then if we go all the way out to about 20 meters, which is still going to be a range that you might be in an engagement using your short range weapon or your SMG, and you see just how much faster the AK kills than the Bullfrog kills at about 20 meters. So that's why this is a great option, because it gives you a lot of versatility. And from 0 meters out all the way to 30, 40, 50 meters even, the AK is going to be killing extremely fast. So now we're going to switch over and compare the AK to the fastest killing SMG in the game right now, which is the Cold War MP5. And as you can see, from 0 to about 8 meters, the Cold War MP5 just nudges out the AK. So the AK is killing just about as fast as the Cold War MP5 is. Now the big advantage to the AK, as you see, once you get out to 8 meters, then you have a huge damage range drop off with the Cold War MP5, but that doesn't happen with the AK. It holds its damage range for a much longer time. So What you're going to lose out if you use the AK, you're definitely going to lose a little bit of movement speed, a little bit of ADS speed compared to SMGs, but that's the way it should be. But the way the AK is built right now, it kind of has that old FFAR feel to it, to where it's almost a must-use weapon for sniper support and just as your short range option. It covers everything really, really well. And if you sniping, as you can see, the AK kills extremely fast up close, almost faster than any other weapon, and it's still a solid option whenever you move out to range. So 100% as a sniper support weapon, you should be using the AK. It's the best option, just about as good as the FFAR used to be. Whenever they gave this buff to the attachments to the Cold War weapons, I think they did it with SMGs in mind to make it more of a SMG meta, but in turn it actually really helped out the short range Cold War weapons like the AK47, like the FFAR, and like the FARA. I just think out of the Cold War ARs to use at short range, that the AK is probably going to be the go-to just because it kills a bit faster than the other ones. That'll do it for today's video. If you liked the video or learned something new, please do me a favor by hitting the like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching. Eagle Gaming.